We've been waiting for you, Yagami-san. Mamiya-san is about to enlighten us on the truth behind the groping.
Good.
Oh, and I heard about Sawa-sensei. I'm so sorry.
Our condolences.
Looks like she got mixed up in all this when RK was chasing after Kawana. But we're still not sure why they chased him. To figure that out, we'll have to retrace Kawana's steps.
Exactly.
That said, let's start with the harassment charges, Mamiya-san.
Fine. Let's get this over with.
Pout all you want, but keep the answers straight.
Ihara's assault was designed to establish a false alibi for Mikoshiba's murder. So Kawana had you play the victim, and together you pulled one over on the police and the court.
Can you confirm if this is all accurate so far, please?
Yeah.
The person who groped you on the train wasn't Ihara-san himself. It was his stand-in. And my understanding is that he had conspirators to help him fabricate this event?
That's right.
What was Kawana doing at the time? Was he in Ijinsho or Tokyo?
Didn't you hear your lady friend? Ihara-san had a stand-in. And that stand-in was our sensei.
You mean Kawana posed as Ihara himself? So this Ihara was actually Kawana. Huh.
Sensei and Ihara-san have a pretty similar build. Not sure they could have pulled it off otherwise, you know?
But some spots don't look right, like his mouth. You sure that's really Kawana-san?
That part around his mouth is fake. He said he scanned Ihara-san's face and made it on a 3D printer.
Oh, huh. You can print things in 3D now?
Well, it's a machine that takes a model's data from a computer and prints physical objects using materials like resin. So if you were to scan a person's face onto a computer, a 3D printer could accurately recreate it.
I don't know the details, but that's what Sensei used to become Ihara-san.
Something like this. See, with a 3D printer, a piece of a face is pretty easy to make.
What the hell?
I see. His eyes are hidden behind the sunglasses, and the seams on his jaw are obscured by the mask.
It's incredible, I must say. With the mouth area so visible, it's too convincing to think he's anybody else. And with the prosecution assuming he's just another sexual predator, they fell for it.
This is no time to be impressed. In case you forgot, he had the defense fooled too.
Right.
Assuming Kawana was Ihara's double, there's still some evidence I'm iffy about.
I'm of the same opinion.
Okay. Which evidence is questionable?
This piece of the puzzle still needs an explanation.
Is that...
The police examined the trace evidence on Ihara's hands after he was caught. And from the analysis, the same fibers from Mamiya-san's undergarments were found on Ihara's hands.
That's right. If the stand-in was the groper, Ihara-san wouldn't have touched Mamiya-san at all. But the evidence on Ihara-san's hands suggests otherwise. Rather strange, isn't it?
I take it there was a trick to this, too?
That's simple. Before I got in the train, I met with the real Ihara-san at the underground platform. That's when I had him touch the undergarment. After that, all I had to do was go to the bathroom and put them on. That's where the fibers in the trace were from. What the police found on Ihara-san's hands was exactly what we wanted them to find. And it would serve as hard proof he grabbed me. The courts really ate it up. It was hard not to laugh sometimes, to be honest.
You're really starting to open up. That's the spirit. How about this then?
And this is?
Before the incident, Ihara used this card to go through the ticket gate at Ikebukuro, the time of which was recorded.
Right, and it was on October 7th at 7:43 a.m.
Thanks, Hoshino-kun.
Happy to help, Yagami-san.
At the earliest, Mikoshiba's time of death would have been 7:30 a.m. If Ihara killed Mikoshiba in Ijincho, he would have only had 13 minutes to get to Ikebukuro. And frankly, that's impossible.
That's what's stumping you?
Huh?
Sensei borrowed the card from Ihara-san beforehand and passed her the gate. Afterward, he slipped it back to Ihara-san when they switched places. That way, Ihara-san ended up having the time-stamped card on him. Makes sense now.
So even the entry time through the ticket gate was used as part of the alibi?
It all seems so obvious now that I hear it. Nobody suspected a groping was being used as an alibi for murder.
Yeah. And on top of all that, no one knew Mikoshiba had been killed during the trial. They really pulled it off.
Anything else?
Can you take a closer look at this?
That's the Ikebukuro station platform. What about it?
If Kawano was pretending to be Ihara, then Kawano was also the man in the video before he got on the train, correct?
Right. Didn't we go over this already?
Guess we did, huh? This came out pretty clearly.
Uh-huh.
So the guy in the back is Kawano posing as Ihara.
Yes. And he actually didn't lay a finger on me. His prints couldn't show up.
Sounds like you had a hell of a time getting this set up.
I didn't. But Sensei sure did.
How about this then?
What's this? A map of the station?
We made a diagram of Shinjuku Station. The platform's packed with cameras, but take a closer look and you'll notice a small blind spot.
We've all been looking into it. So, let's say Ihara murdered Mikoshiba and faked his alibi at the station. If that was the case, then after Ihara had his stand-in do the deed, they would have swapped at this blind spot.
Yeah.
Sound about right?
Is I give up what you're looking for? You figured it out. You win. What more do you want?